I set my ex-boyfriend's photo as my computer wallpaper. When my advisor, David Lee, saw it, he fell silent. "Do you know him?" Without thinking, I replied, "This is my boyfriend." The next day, David enthusiastically invited me to his home for dinner. Upon opening the door, Mike Johnson and I stared at each other in shock. "Son, I brought your girlfriend home," he announced. I desperately scanned the walls for any crack to disappear into. After all, I was the one who had dumped him years ago. After revising my thesis according to David's feedback, I blissfully slept from morning till night. Upon waking, I saw 7 missed calls from him. "Can you come over now?" he asked when I called back. I didn't dare refuse, grabbing my laptop and rushing to his office. My heart sank seeing the document covered in red comments. As he sighed repeatedly, my spirits plummeted. While I was dazed, he accidentally minimized the window, revealing a photo of a young man. Warmth flooded his eyes. It was unmistakably a girlfriend's perspective shot. I'd taken it. The person in the picture was Mike Johnson, my ex-boyfriend. I couldn't bear to delete it and had secretly made it my wallpaper. David stayed quiet for 2 seconds before casually asking, "Do you know him?" He added, "No particular reason, just heard youngsters these days use photos of people they know as wallpapers." Curious. Then, probing, "Isn't he your boyfriend?" I hesitated. I'd often cited my boyfriend as an excuse for missing classes, though David had never met him. Over time, he'd grown skeptical. On impulse, I rubbed my nose and confessed, "Professor, you guessed right." He drew out an O, his tone meaningful. Though he showed no obvious reaction, he seemed suddenly warmer. The next day, heading to the cafeteria, I got another call from David. Uncharacteristically cheerful, he chuckled, "Lily dear, haven't eaten yet, have you?" Confused, I answered, "No, Professor. Mrs. Johnson cooked up a feast today, come join us?" I slammed on the brakes so hard I nearly tumbled into the roadside bushes. Panicked, I stammered, "That's unnecessary, Professor, please enjoy." She woke at dawn to shop, buzzing with excitement all morning. Made shrimp tempura, crab with stuffed meatballs, braised ribs. Well, he'd successfully hooked my appetite. Any strangeness in his words flew out of my mind. When a professor extends such warmth, how could a student refuse? Whatever this was about could wait until after eating. "Professor, text me the address." "I'll be right there." I arrived at the door, barely raising my finger to ring the bell when it swung open. "You must be Lily. Come in, come in." A beaming Mary greeted me. Recognizing her, I mustered a smile. "I am Lily Brown." "Hello, Mrs. Johnson. Just call me Mary. Maybe soon I'll need to change that title." She smiled broadly. I hesitated to take a step forward. She took my hand and shouted towards the kitchen, "David Lee, go call your son Mike Johnson out." "Huh? Mike? David's son is here too?" "No, why are they calling me for their family dinner?" David wiped his hands and hurried out. "Okay, honey." I couldn't help but laugh. I never expected David to be henpecked. The next second, my smile froze on my face. David boomed, "Mike, I brought your girlfriend Lily back. Come out quick." "Girlfriend? Meaning me? Student turning into daughter-in-law? This can't be. David, you can't just randomly claim a daughter-in-law. Is this punishment for my academic fraud?" "But didn't he know I have a boyfriend?" Suddenly a light bulb went off in my head, before I could sort it out. "What girlfriend?" "I don't have A familiar voice started and paused. I caught a glimpse of a side profile and reflexively put the hat back on. I wanted to cry. Who would have thought David's son's last name is Johnson? If only I hadn't been lazy and washed my hair last night. I didn't even go back to change clothes. Took off my jacket, only wearing a plain white cotton t-shirt and plaid pajama pants. Now, belatedly, it looks a bit like sleepwear. Can I find an excuse to escape? Is there a crack in the wall for me to crawl into? My head lowered more and more. I kind of envy turtles, they can retract their heads into their shells. The scary thing still happened. David said, "Kid, why are you always unwilling to come back? You didn't even tell your mom and me about dating. If it weren't for seeing Lily's wallpaper yesterday, we'd still be in the dark." My ears burned red. Wallpaper? Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. You have to treat Lily well. David, please stop talking. I'm almost exposed. Mike Johnson tilted his head, raised an eyebrow, and said slowly, "Oh? Lily Brown, my girlfriend?" With a strange trailing tone. Back then, I quietly dumped him. Who can tell me how to resolve such an awkward situation? I hardened my heart, raised my head, and met Mike's narrowed eyes. Greeted with a heart as cold as ashes. "Hello, Mike, what a coincidence." I must have had an ugly smile, even Mrs. Johnson noticed something was wrong. "You two know each other so well, why are you greeting each other like this? Was it too sudden?" "Don't be nervous, we're just too happy and a bit impatient." I froze, meeting Mrs. Johnson's expectant gaze. Suddenly, I felt that this lie couldn't go on. I took a deep breath and was about to explain. My whole body was pulled into a strong embrace. "Mom and Dad, you scared her. I didn't mean to hide it from you, it's just that you're too nosy." David's mouth twitched, and he couldn't help but explain. "Lily is still a student, don't always take up her time in the future." I remembered the excuses I made yesterday and before in front of David. Slowly looked up to meet Mike's puzzled eyes, giving an awkward smile. Before I could explain, David asked curiously again. "Where did you go yesterday? She forgot her phone, and you didn't even think to bring it for her." I couldn't hold it in anymore. "David, how come you believe everything I say?" I blurted out, "David, we went hiking yesterday and had a picnic." "A picnic? Where?" "Your Mrs. Johnson said a few days ago that she wanted to have a picnic." My smile froze on my face, how could there be more? My mind raced to think of something. I regretted not scrolling through local social media more often, I had no idea. Mike spoke up to save me, "David, you're asking too much. I'll take her to wash up." Mrs. Johnson pushed David, "Why so many questions? Go serve the food." In the bathroom, I breathed a sigh of relief and thanked him sincerely. He turned on the faucet and washed his hands, saying casually, "I'm not helping you, I'm helping my dear Lily." I was speechless, I really wasn't in the right on this matter. But in front of my ex-boyfriend, I couldn't lose my composure. "If I had known you were David's son, I wouldn't have said that about you." He paused, his gaze intense. "Then who do you want to say?" It seemed like there was no one to say. He sighed softly. "If you have a boyfriend, it's better we clear things up now." I grabbed his clothes, almost kneeling down. "Since it's already happened, and we can't break up right now, then please play my mic for a while longer, please." I looked up with pitiful eyes. He stared at me for a long time, his Adam's apple bobbing. "I'm not interested in being a substitute." I was a bit confused. What substitute? He said casually, didn't you say you were with Mike yesterday? I was with my bed yesterday, the whole day. He raised his eyebrows, radiating joy, then I'll reluctantly agree. Okay, Mike. He froze for a moment, leaning against the wall without speaking. Why did this guy suddenly turn into a thinker? Why are his ears red? I didn't understand and shook my head. After washing my hands, my gaze fell on the towel rack nearby. Which one did Mike use just now? As I hesitated, a towel covered my hand. This one, Lily. David came out of the kitchen. Eat quickly, don't let it get cold. I praised generously, Mrs. Johnson, your cooking is really good. If it's delicious, eat more, look how thin you are. Mary kept adding dishes, and the bowl quickly piled up like a small mountain. I hurriedly stopped her. No need, Mary, really enough. If I want to eat, I'll serve myself. First time here, inevitably a bit uncomfortable. Mary knows, no need to be polite with Mary. The bowl in front was even a large bowl, bigger than my hand. I sighed inwardly. I'm not being polite, Mary. It's so embarrassing not to finish as a guest. I was a bit worried. A snicker came from beside me. I slightly turned my head. Mike was propping his head, looking at me, the corner of his mouth raised. Mary was dissatisfied. What are you laughing at? You didn't serve Lily either. He finally raised his chopsticks. I was a bit flustered. What is he going to do? He's not going to serve me food too. I stared at the chopsticks while giving Mike a look. The chopsticks turned in mid-air and landed in my bowl. Chopstick by chopstick, he took away the food in my bowl. Mary asked, Mike, what are you doing? He said without changing expression, first, she doesn't eat bell peppers. Second, she has a small appetite, greedy but can't eat much. Your amount could kill someone. My heart skipped a beat. What is he doing, acting like he knows me so well? We've only dated for half a year. Mary suddenly understood, looking at us with eyes like she was shipping us. Lily, I'm so happy, feel free. I smiled, it's okay, thank you, Mary. I was sitting on pins and needles in the living room. On one side sat Mary, on the other sat David. Mike sat opposite. To avoid awkwardness, I took the initiative to start a conversation. Auntie, is Mike surnamed after you? Yes, back then, we discussed drawing lots, and whoever won would pass on the surname. I was luckier. When you two have children someday, the surname can be whatever, our family doesn't care about that. It was clear Mary really wanted a grandson. But her son isn't capable. It seemed he hadn't told his parents yet. I glanced sympathetically at Mike. He met my gaze and quickly lowered his head. Ah, so pitiful. His anxiety made his fruit peeling speed even faster. I smiled politely and changed the subject. You and David have such a wonderful relationship. We were high school classmates and have known each other for over 30 years. By the way, how did you meet Mike? I blurted out, drink. Regaining my senses, I started brainstorming frantically. I absolutely couldn't say we met playing truth or dare in a bar. David gave me a probing look. Just online, if you want to know the details, I'll tell you the whole story another time. With a clatter, a plate of cut fruit landed in front of me. Sliced cleanly, evenly sized, even the white pith of the orange was peeled off. Clearly, he'd done this many times before. It made me feel a bit dazed. I love eating fruit but hate peeling it, and I prefer bite-sized pieces I can pop into my mouth. When we were dating, he often handled it. But now it was just pretending. Mary teased. Oh, son, only one fork? Is this for Lily? I felt a bit embarrassed. He glanced at me and slowly pulled out 2 more forks. What's the rush, Mom? I haven't finished arranging it. Mary didn't mind at all. Lily, how long have you two been dating? When you have time, have Mike visit your home. Proper etiquette must be followed. Winter break starts in just a month, and the holiday season is almost here. How about both families have dinner together? I grew more flustered listening. Why was everything suddenly moving so fast? I braced myself. Auntie, isn't it? Mike sighed helplessly. Mom, Lily hasn't graduated yet. Why are you rushing? David chimed in. Let's wait until Lily graduates first. With her thesis skills, graduating will be a challenge. Hang in there, kid. Mike burst out laughing. I glared at him. Does he even know how hard a thesis is? I was stunned, lifted my eyelids to look at him. Why are your eyes still red? Wasn't the breakup quite quick back then? My gaze fell on his wrist, and I suddenly realized. It's painful. Why didn't you say you were hurt? Come on, let's go to the campus clinic. Just a minor injury, ouch. I frowned. Does it hurt? If you keep acting tough, I won't care about you anymore. He quickly grabbed my hand. It hurts. The doctor disinfected and bandaged it for him. I held his hand and checked it over and over. Mike looked down at me, his Adam's apple bobbing. Lily, are you worried about me? I clicked my tongue. Can't you use the right word? It's called guilt. When we left, everything was fine, but now we're heading home with an injured hand. He lowered the corner of his mouth. Don't worry, I'll go back to my own place later. My hand paused. You don't need to report to me where you're going. He was silent until we reached the dorm building. Mike, why exactly did you break up? His voice was a bit cold. I stopped walking. Because of you. The reason was too hot to say, the words stuck in my throat and wouldn't come out. How strange, didn't he agree quite smoothly 3 years ago? Shouldn't the reason be obvious to both? Because of what? I sized him up, a bit nervous. You're not still hung up on me, are you? Mike returned to his cold demeanor. Humph, as if? I patted my chest. That's good, that's good. The look he gave me grew more resentful. I didn't notice at all and gently comforted him. I wish you find a girl who doesn't mind you soon. So what if he's handsome? All show and no substance. I can't handle it. Can only use him as wallpaper. The thesis is really worrying. The minor papers were submitted after who knows how many revisions. Suddenly, I came across an adapted viral song. It really resonated with me. I immediately posted it on social media, blocking David's group. No matter how I revise, I can't satisfy you. After all these revisions, who can still keep a clear logic? Should I test David with the first draft I revised? The comments were filled with thoughts. One comment was particularly striking. Suggest not to, David is very serious. Oh no, I just added Mike back yesterday. Forgot to adjust the groups. I immediately retracted my grinning teeth. I tremblingly opened the chat window. A pitiful lazy sheep emoji. Can we pretend you didn't see it? Mike replied instantly, not really. That meant there was hope. Name your terms, as long as I can do it. After 3 minutes, he finally replied. Okay, I owe you. I breathed a sigh of relief. It's so hard, want me to take a look for you? You didn't go to grad school, can you understand the thesis? Excellent undergraduate thesis emoji, alright, you've got some skills. My undergraduate thesis was a hot mess. But I thought about it and sighed. No need, if your dad finds out, we'll both be in deep trouble. He didn't insist anymore. Still working on the thesis tomorrow? Rented an apartment, moving tomorrow. Need any help? No need. He didn't reply again. I didn't mind. The apartment was rented with the help of my brother Alex. After arriving at the rental, I eagerly looked around. 2 bedrooms and a living room, is it too small? Not small at all, I'm living alone, why do I need it big? Rented through a friend, the security in this neighborhood is good. For a girl like you, it's safer to live here. My brother suddenly said seriously, but at night, don't go out. I rented this place behind Mom and Dad's back, so you better behave, or we'll both be in deep trouble. Got it, I'll be careful. I walked to the bedroom and touched the bed. Good, pretty soft. My phone rang, it was Mike calling. What did he want? Had Professor David and Mrs. Johnson found out? I quickly answered, but there was no sound on the other end. Coincidentally, Alex came in with the duvet cover. I washed it, want to put it on now? Seeing me on the phone, he paused. I signaled that it was okay. Go ahead. I thought again, forget it, don't put it on, I'll do it later. Finally, Mike's voice came through the phone speaker. His voice was hoarse and tense. Lily, what are you doing? Not paying attention, I bumped into the corner of the bed. It hurt so much that tears streamed down my face, and my phone flew out. I gasped, it hurts. Alex hurried over, let me see. Turning my ankle was really painful. I kept whimpering, gently. Alex. It's probably swollen, you'll have some difficulty walking tomorrow. The doorbell rang urgently. Both Alex and I were startled. We just rented this place, who could it be? Lily. Open the door. I was so startled my heart skipped a beat. My gaze fell on the phone not far away. One voice came from here. Another voice was. Well, Alex had already opened the door. He sized him up and asked doubtfully, are you Lily's friend? Mike pursed his lips tightly, his eyes bloodshot, breathing heavily. He stepped past Alex and stared straight at me. He made me feel like a heinous criminal. I said, I won't be a substitute. Knowing he misunderstood, I blinked my eyes frantically. He didn't pick up any signal. Clenching his fist, didn't you say you didn't have a boyfriend? Alex extended a hand, his gaze deep. Hello, I'm Lily's brother, Alex. The kind from the same parents. Mike's voice abruptly stopped. His expression shattered, looking at me in disbelief. I shrugged. He stared at Alex and tentatively called out, Alex? Alex didn't respond, turned sideways to let him in. I'll go tidy up, you two talk. He hung his head and walked up to me, like a puppy that had done something wrong. His eyes were still red, but he reined in all his temper. Then what were you two? I innocently pointed at my ankle. I bumped it, it hurts a lot. His expression turned remorseful and pained. Mike took on the household chores voluntarily. I stood up to help, but he told me to sit still. The figure in the living room was bustling about. Where does this go? And that? Is it okay to put it here? Even the live fish Alex bought was killed. I was a bit at a loss. This gave me the illusion that I was still his girlfriend. Alex walked to my side, boyfriend? I sighed, ex-boyfriend plus David's son. Alex said firmly, he still likes you. I nodded and said sadly, I can see that. Why did you break up? Don't you like him anymore? It's not that, it's just. Alex gave a puzzled look. At this moment, Mike called us for dinner. Alex helped me walk over. Under Mike's expectant gaze, Alex finally nodded. The cooking is good. Mike's eyes lit up, and the gloom dissipated. Thank you, Alex. Forgot to introduce myself. My name is Mike Johnson, 26 years old, studying computer science, opened a game company with friends, now it's running well, height 6 feet 2 inches, body. I coughed heavily. Mike obediently shut his mouth. Alex suddenly laughed out loud. Let me introduce myself too. My name is Alex Smith, 33 years old. I'm a doctor, working at the First People's Hospital of North River. Doctor, that's a good profession. Mike smiled, clearly not recognizing Alex. Also, Alex always wears a mask when seeing patients. It was a photo he took from the collar down, even lighting himself up. My heart sank. That account was Mike's. How did he know my account? Is he stalking me? Have to admit, his body is really good. I couldn't control my hand, zooming in again and again. The Adonis belt extended from the abs to the waistband. I swallowed. I couldn't sleep because of him in the first place, now I'm even more awake. Mike, want to see more? I snorted, what's there to see with a dysfunctional person? Using internet memes, I typed out a reply, the moon is so big tonight. Speaking of big, yours is the opposite. Mike replied instantly. This meme is indeed a bit stiff. Speaking of hard, yours is the opposite. Mike. This meme is also a bit vulgar. Speaking of thick, yours is indeed the opposite. This time, Mike completely stopped replying to me. I left contentedly and happily started scrolling videos. After a few videos, the doorbell rang. I instantly got goosebumps. Could it be that on the very first day I moved out, trouble had already found me? My mind flashed with several unsettling news reports, making me shiver uncontrollably. My phone rang again, it was Mike calling. A sudden wave of security washed over me. I answered immediately. It's me. I'm outside your door, his voice came through. The hallway lights on. You can see me through the peephole. Stunned, I shuffled in my slippers to let him in. What are you doing here? I asked, adding, and how did you get here so fast? Before I could finish, he seized my wrist and pinned me against the wall. Breathing heavily, his eyes tinged red at the corners, he said, I came so you could see for yourself whether what you said was true. Remembering my bold comment earlier, guilt prickled inside me. You pervert. I pushed against him, but he didn't budge. He leaned close to my ear, voice laced with hurt. Why would you even think that? His warm breath brushed my skin, sending a jolt through me. Was he feeling crushed? Avoiding his gaze, I tried to reassure him. It's just an internet meme. He narrowed his eyes, tightening his grip on my chin, forcing me to look at him. Lily, something's off with you. Panic surged, and I shoved him hard. What do you mean? I snapped, desperate to escape. But my injured ankle gave way, sending me stumbling sideways. He caught me instantly, lifting me until I was pressed against his chest. The warmth of the apartment meant I wore only a thin nightgown. This time, I felt it, undeniable. My mind went blank. Swallowing hard, I mumbled in confusion, but I thought you couldn't. Realizing what I meant, he let out a bitter laugh. When did I ever say I couldn't? Or did you get cured? Lily. I've never had a damn problem. What are you talking about? Oh no. I'd truly angered him. Wriggling out of his arms, I threw caution to the wind. I saw it. You were registered under my brother Alex's name. His expression froze. You knew? I nodded. He took a deep breath. I'm not sick. I saw the medical report. It was clearly written. His stare remained unflinching. That report was wrong. A system glitch mixed my records with another patient's. I nearly lost my mind worrying because of your brother. A pause. Then, sharper, wait. Lily, is that why you broke up with me? Guilt flooded me, and I couldn't meet his eyes. Muttering softly, so you agreed too? His Adam's apple bobbed, seeming a bit regretful. You used to call me baby before. I didn't understand, huh? His gaze dimmed a bit. You suddenly stopped calling me that those days. I thought you were already tired of me. So. He didn't finish, but I already understood. Because I had prepared myself mentally. So when we broke up, he agreed without saying anything. I felt a bit sour inside. I cleared my throat lightly, then let's reluctantly make it real. Mike's eyes lit up, yet he seemed a bit shy. You say make it real and it's real, how embarrassing for me. Fine, then I'll take it back. He immediately made a bitter face. I'm sorry, don't take it back. 15 minutes later, we were lying on a bed together. Because the guest room only had a mattress, not even a blanket. The atmosphere was clearly awkward. Although we had dated for half a year, it was really very innocent. Other than chatting and talking, at most kissing. We hadn't been in such close contact before. I didn't know if it was because the heating was too strong or the blanket was too thick. I felt a bit hot all over. I couldn't help but say, "Are you hot?" A bit. His voice sounded very off. I turned my head to look and saw he was hotter than me, with a fine sweat on his forehead. I asked, "What's wrong with you?" He didn't say anything. I was a bit worried and moved closer to him. Reaching out to touch his forehead, he suddenly flipped over and pinned me beneath him. His eyes darkened, and he spoke hesitantly. Lily. Are you really stupid or pretending? His body was burning hot. I realized and my ears turned bright red. Why don't you go take a cold shower? He sighed and buried his face in my neck. Stop watching weird stuff, taking a cold shower in the middle of winter, do you want to freeze me to death? I licked my lips, how about, I help you? 10 minutes later, I stared at my hand lost in thought. He silently wrapped his arms around me from behind, and I didn't say anything. Until I was almost asleep, I suddenly remembered. If you're not sick, what were you doing at Alex's place? He paused, looking very wronged. Believe me, this isn't my usual performance. During winter break, I rode my bike to pick up Mike. Despite being the second input, it's premium quality. I arrived early and planned to go upstairs to look around. Just as I stepped out of the elevator, someone called out to me from afar, Lily Brown. I turned to look and vaguely recognized that it was Mike's friend. His hair was dyed half red and half yellow, and he wore a green outfit, making him look like a traffic light. Lily, are you here to see Mike? I greeted him with a smile. Hello, you. Quite fashionable. He looked a bit panicked. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not a thug. Then, embarrassed, he scratched his head. My girlfriend dyed it, testing which color looks better so she can dye hers. I nodded obediently, no misunderstanding, rest assured. Lily, Mike is in a meeting, I'll keep you company for a while. Want some coffee? The coffee beans I bought this time are super aromatic, I'll make you a cup. I nodded sheepishly, sure, thanks. No need to thank me, I should thank you for coming back. Mike has been super motivated lately, not even 5 bulls could pull him back. He placed the coffee in front of me. Lily, you don't know, back when you broke up, I drank with him. Mike cried like a boiling kettle, snot and tears all over me. I was stunned. He was that sad? Absolutely, I was the one who sent the breakup text for him. He said he didn't dare to press send, but after he did, he hugged his phone and sat all night. Suddenly, my heart felt sour and astringent. I lowered my eyes. Then why didn't he ask me? This friend was a blabbermouth. Although I don't quite understand, maybe love makes people timid. Back then, the moment he entered the bar, he fell in love with you at first sight. Love at first sight? Ah, didn't Mike tell you? Did I say too much? He laughed dryly. I signaled that it was okay, I'd take the blame. That day, my friends and I were playing Truth or Dare. When it was my turn to be punished, I chose Dare. The dare was to find a stranger of the opposite sex and flick them on the forehead. I scanned the room, only Mike at the bar seemed approachable. I walked over, just as I reached him, nervously asked, "Hello, flick? Date?" I was stunned. He turned his head and stared at me. Date, yes. Though I didn't know why he agreed so quickly, I thought he was a really nice guy. Grateful beyond words. So under his gaze, I reached out and flicked him on the forehead. Then, with a half bow, sincerely thanked him. He seemed to just realize, flustered, he took several sips of his drink. No need to thank me, just a flick on the forehead, simple. Later, we exchanged contacts, and I became more and more enamored with his social media posts. It was me who suggested we start dating. At that time, I didn't understand that the date he meant wasn't the same word I said. You came so early, why didn't you text me? I snapped out of it. His friend guiltily fled. Mike, you and Lily should head back, I'll get busy. Mike looked puzzled. Nothing's going on today? That night, we got intimate. At his happiest moment, I raised an eyebrow, leaned close to his ear, and said slowly, "Loveatfirst?" Mike stiffened, gritted his teeth, and replied, I said, "Why is this kid acting so strange today?" Seeing me laugh, Mike suddenly moved. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to properly prove what I'm capable of. During the new year, Mrs. Johnson's wish still came true. She laughed joyfully. David was beaming too. The two families sat together for a meal. Alex sat beside me and said in a low voice, "By the way, I remembered Mike. He came to register at my clinic. That day, the medical record was printed wrong. Mike was so scared that tears wouldn't stop flowing, and there wasn't enough paper on the table for him." Thinking of Mike crying in front of Alex felt oddly amusing. That must be the memory he most wants to erase. I remembered and asked, what exactly happened to him that day? Alex coughed lightly, his expression turning awkward. He mumbled 4 words, excessive indulgence. At that moment, my mom called out to me, and I didn't get it. When lying in bed that night, I pressed down his restless hand. Not in the mood today. Mike looked a bit hurt, took my hand, and pleaded, then help me out. Suddenly recalling what Alex had said, I thought for a moment. I turned over, pinned Mike down, squinted my eyes, and demanded, what exactly were you doing every night when you made those voice calls to me? Back then, Mike made voice calls to me every single night, asking me to keep him company and talk. Even when I fell asleep, the call stayed connected. Mike stammered, his gaze shifting away, just talking with you. I didn't believe him anymore. My hand slipped under his shirt, greedily tracing his abs, moving lower and lower. From now on, better not rely on hands. I patted him and commanded, "Turn off the light for me." The room instantly went dark. Moans and groans filled the air. What the ear shouldn't hear, what the eye shouldn't see.